Stop looking at the Apple TV as just a basic Netflix box. Because if you think Cupertino is satisfied with just serving up Stranger Things in 4K, you're completely missing the massive, quiet takeover they are plotting for your living room right now. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple has had their next-generation Apple TV hardware basically finished for months. Employees are already using it inside Apple Park, yet it's just sitting there. They haven't released it. If the box works, what exactly has Apple been waiting for? Keep that question in the back of your mind, because once we look at the silicon going into this thing, the delay starts making a lot more sense. Let's call it the Apple TV Ultra for now, though honestly, I'll believe that name when I see on the box. The processor is the first massive red flag that something bigger is happening. The current model uses the A15 Bionic from the iPhone 13 era. It does the job, but the next version is rumored to make a massive leap to the A17 Pro. Yes, the exact same piece of silicon Apple originally built for the iPhone 15 Pro. We're talking a 6-core CPU, 6-core GPU, a 16-core neural engine, and actual hardware-accelerated ray tracing. Why on earth would you put that inside an Apple TV? If all I want is to watch Dune Part 2, I do not need an A17 Pro. The current hardware handles that in its sleep. So there has to be another motive here. Gaming is the absolute obvious answer. We already know a 17 Pro class hardware can run genuine AAA games. Now, imagine you drop that chip inside a set-top box where thermal throttling is essentially eliminated. You don't have to worry about battery life. Connect a DualSense controller, throw it on a 65-inch OLED, and suddenly the conversation completely changes. I'm not saying this kills the PlayStation 5. Let's be real. But this hardware gives Apple massive headroom to take living room gaming seriously. And honestly, they have to. If Apple drops an A17 Pro in this thing, just to make the Netflix menu scroll slightly faster, what is the actual point? I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comments, by the way. Would you actually play AAA games on an Apple TV if it ran them flawlessly, or are you sticking to your dedicated console no matter what? But wait, because gaming alone still does not explain why Apple waited months to release fully finished hardware. The answer to that mystery involves the other silicon going inside this box. We are expecting the N1 networking chip. The LEC recently reported on Apple ramping up production for these specific connectivity components, and DG Times has been hinting at TSMC 3 nanometers yields stabilizing enough to pump these chips out efficiently. We already saw the N1 in the latest iPhones. It brings Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread. Apple claims it improves AirDrop and hotspot reliability. But take that chip and drop it in the center of your house, and the strategy suddenly clicks. Think about your daily driver setup. You might have the Apple TV, 2 HomePods, some AirPods, smart lights, security camera, your iPhone. The Apple TV sits right in the middle of that web. I couldn't care less that Wi-Fi 7 is a bigger number than Wi-Fi 6. I care about what happens when my entire Apple ecosystem is firing at once. Does the game controller stay lag-free? Do the HomePods stay perfectly synced? Does the front door camera feed load instantly? Thread matters here because Apple is clearly prepping a huge wave of smart home gear. Mac Otakara has been dropping hints about new connected home accessories for a while now. And Ming-Chi recently detailed Apple's aggressive push into smart home hardware over the next 2 years. Now let's talk audio, because this is where the Apple tax really starts adding up, but also where the seamless integration actually shines. If you're buying this new Apple TV for movies, you need to look at the HomePods. Just one is fine, but 2 full-size HomePods set up as a stereo pair is where things get wild. Apple supports Dolby Atmos, Dolby Digital 7.1, and 5.1 with this exact setup. You've got a tiny box under your screen and 2 sleek speakers. No massive AV receiver, no wires running under your rug, no dedicated subwoofer taking up floor space. Will it beat a multi-$1,000 dedicated home theater rig? Obviously not. But for anyone wanting a clean, minimalist setup, it's incredibly compelling. Plus, people always forget that Apple TV 4K supports eARC. Your PlayStation or Xbox audio can route straight through the Apple TV and out of your HomePods. You don't need a separate soundbar. But there is one specific feature I need Apple to fix immediately. I don't need my movies to be louder. I need to actually hear what the actors are saying. You know the exact drill. You're watching a movie, the dialogue is basically a whisper, you crank the volume, and then an explosion happens and wakes up your entire neighborhood. Apple has an enhanced dialogue toggle, but with the A17 Pro and its massive neural engine, I want them to aggressively fix this. Use that processing power to isolate and boost human voices without ruining the background mix. That alone would make it worth the upgrade. So why the delay? Why sit on finished hardware? Mark Gurman's report gives us the final puzzle piece. The hardware was held back because it was designed from the ground up to launch alongside Apple's entirely revamped Siri system. The physical box wasn't the holdup. The software gluing the entire experience together just wasn't ready. And I'm not judging the new Siri on whether it knows the capital of Peru. I wanted to handle compound commands effortlessly. I want to sit on my couch and say, lower the volume, make the voices clearer, dim the lights, and show me who is at the front door. I shouldn't need to open 3 different apps on my phone, and I definitely shouldn't have to repeat myself because Siri lost its memory 5 seconds into the request. The HomePod hears you, the Apple TV processes it on screen, and it just works. Building that level of simplicity is way harder than just slapping a faster chip on a motherboard. We're also expecting a new HomePod Mini. Shrimp Apple Pro hinted at some minor aesthetic tweaks, but the real story is inside. The current Mini rocks an S5 chip from the Apple Watch Series 5 days. It is ancient. The new one is rumored to jump straight to an S9 or newer. Add in the N1 chip and improved ultra-wideband tech, and you've got a speaker that can actually process these new Siri commands instantly. Ross Young has even mused about potential display tech making its way to home devices, though that might be reserved for a completely different product down the line. Right now, the focus is pure speed and reliability. Release timing is looking solidly like September or October. September aligns perfectly with the public rollout of the new Siri software. Hardware ready, Siri ready, boom, launch. But October might make even more sense. If Apple launches this alongside the iPhone, it's going to get completely buried in the news cycle. A dedicated October Mac and Home event would give them the breathing room to actually explain why you need to drop this kind of cash. And speaking of cash, let's talk about the price because this is where things get painful. Apple recently bumped the base Wi-Fi Apple TV from $129 up to $199. The Ethernet model jumped to $249. Even the HomePods got more expensive. So let's do the living room math on this dream setup. A base Apple TV for $199 plus 2 full-size HomePods at $349 each. You're looking at nearly $900 before tax. Upgrade to the Ethernet model, and you are knocking on $1,000. For $1,000, it works nicely together, simply isn't good enough anymore. It needs to be flawless. The new Apple TV cannot just be a slightly faster streaming stick. It needs to justify that premium price tag with uncompromised sound, actual high-end gaming capabilities, and a smart home hub experience that never fails. I'll believe a price drop is coming when I see it, but considering their recent moves, expect to pay a premium. So what do you guys think? Are you ready to go all in on Apple's living room vision? Or is that $1,000 price tag a hard pass?